Everybody wants to talk Russ. Mike Tomlin was asked if he considered putting Justin Fields in and said no. He did not. He thinks it's everybody. It is everybody. George Pickens drops the football. Najee Harris gets hurt. Jaylen Warren's not really doing much. Van Jefferson, I mean, the epitome of Van Jefferson's season came down to a comeback route where he didn't come back. He just turned around and stood there. And when the ball went incomplete, every single person went, that's a first down if you take one step forward. If you step forward 1 yard, it's still a first down on a crucial third down. And all you have to do is move. But you didn't do it because that's Van Jefferson's season tied into one play. That's where we're at. That's where the Steelers are. And I get it. It is everybody. But maybe the guy that's stepping up, maybe the guy that is supposed to be the guy that brings everybody back to the surface and gets everybody together is not doing his job, and that's Russell Wilson. And I don't know if you change Russell Wilson right now. I don't think you make a quarterback change going into the playoffs, although teams have done it and they've been successful doing it. I still don't think the Steelers would consider it. We'll find out at noon when Mike Tomlin addresses the media, but I doubt it. What I do know is if the Pittsburgh Steelers bring Russell Wilson back next season, they have messed up miserably because this is no longer Russ is the best option, even if that option is not a good option. Yeah, you spend $40 million on Russell Wilson because, your only other option is Sam Darnold or Justin Fields, and you can make that a better bridge quarterback. Russell Wilson might not be a all-pro quarterback right now, but he probably gives you the best shot at a Super Bowl next season. None of those things are true anymore. Russell Wilson does not give you an opportunity at a Super Bowl. He is not the best quarterback available. I don't think he's top 3 best quarterbacks available this offseason. At one point, he was 2. But now, I mean, you take a flyer on Justin Fields before you re-sign Russell Wilson. I don't know if that's what the Steelers do, but that's what you should do. That's what every team should do. There will be teams out there, the Tennessee Titans, who now have the number 1 pick in the draft. They're probably going to get a quarterback. The Raiders, the Giants, maybe the Browns, any of these teams who need a quarterback, they're going to take a flyer on Justin Fields 10 times before they look at Russell Wilson and say he is the solution here. That's what he's done. That's what Russ has done. And I think the 2-minute drill, you could look at 51 passing yards going into the fourth quarter. And I know I'm going on a rant here, but I think the 2-minute drill where you clearly saw Russell Wilson didn't manage this correctly. He didn't do this well enough. And we all talked, well, Justin Fields had a pass bounce off his face mask and he looked brutal in that 2-minute drill against Indianapolis. I agree. It looked just as bad for Russell Wilson trying to beat a bad Cincinnati defense and getting a first down in the process, which should have given you at least an opportunity. But I think he failed miserably. And at this point, it's just not realistic. It's not logical. It makes more sense to say, hey, we have to admit at some point we just don't have Ben anymore and we got to figure it out, than it does to say Russ is the answer. You have to sign Russell Wilson and he gives us our best opportunity. I think if you draft a rookie quarterback, even if that rookie quarterback's not good, it's a step forward compared to a baseline, which is where you are with Russell Wilson. And I don't think that baseline is good enough to even win a playoff game, let alone give you an opportunity for a Super Bowl. I don't think the Steelers can re-sign Russell Wilson. I'm sure they're thinking about it. I would imagine that thought process has changed drastically since 4 weeks ago or even 2 weeks ago. I think that thought process for the Steelers has changed. But I don't think that at this point you could do it. And I would be almost surprised if the Steelers ended up paying him a big contract going into the offseason, because I just don't think he deserves one at 2-5, 2-4 against winning football teams this season. Do you agree? Disagree? Hey, football fans, there's only a few short weeks left in the season, and we've got some exciting wildcard games to look forward to. Get in on the action right now with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. They're offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. Don't let this slip away. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up using our code ALLSTEELERS. The crown is yours. Stay in the action and use your $200 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. Love the thrill of betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code ALLSTEELERS and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ALLSTEELERS only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
No, I have to agree. I mean, if we rewind to last year, whenever they lost in Buffalo, the call was for the Steelers just to improve at quarterback. I don't think we can say that they have with this version of Russell Wilson. I mean, head up comparison, Russell Wilson weeks 15 to 18 versus what we saw from Mason Rudolph last year. Mason was better, and it's not particularly close. I'm not going to say the entire quarterback room isn't better because I do like the combination of Russ and Fields. I think gives you more potential, but I think what you've seen this year is Russell Wilson start off hot against some bad teams, have his defense and his ability to manage a game, get him a victory over the Ravens. And outside of that, not really impressed. I mean, he was great against a bad Cincinnati defense, but the way that he is just kind of shut down, and we all understand, you mentioned the caveats earlier, offensive line, dropped passes, but in the opportunities for Russell Wilson to make an impact in that game, a positive impact, scrambling, has a chance to get out of bounds and maintain that timeout. Instead, he stays in bounds and then gets sacked the next play. And all of a sudden, even if Pat catches that ball, I don't know if they have time to get up to the ball and spike it. No. With all of these factors in tow, I mean, you can't bring him back. I think we've seen in the league that you're better off taking a shot on a young guy. And fortunately for the Steelers, they have that young guy and he's been in the system for a year. I mean, I know it's not a good day to bring this up, but look at the Minnesota Vikings. They thought they were a decent quarterback away from being a contending team. They went out and got Sam Darnold, who people still thought saw ghosts. And now I understand they're a 5 seed, but they're a 14-3 5 seed going into the playoffs and expected to be very tough out. Steelers have that guy, I think, in Fields. And I think that when you look at that and when you see and match it with what Russ has done this year, especially late, I don't know how you come back to Wilson after that.
No, I look at it simply like Justin Fields is not a guaranteed franchise quarterback anywhere he goes. And he's not going to get the opportunity to be a franchise quarterback in 2025. But at bare minimum, if he's your bridge quarterback and you view him as such, which is how the Steelers should approach it, it sucks to waste a draft pick on a guy that may never see the field in your franchise. It sucks to do that. But the Steelers may be in a situation where re-signing Justin Fields and drafting a quarterback as early as they can, where it makes sense. You know, you don't want to take a first-round pick on a third-round quarterback, but you could find the formula that works. Having them compete and looking at the younger option as the guy that should develop into the starter makes so much sense right now. It gives Justin an opportunity to prove himself. If he does prove himself, if he is a stud, then he's your franchise quarterback for the next 10 years. And at that point, he's 36 years old. Awesome. If he's not, if he's average, what'd you miss out on? Nothing. You didn't miss out on anything. You gave up on a 36-year-old quarterback that we are learning more and more in this league as the years go on, that it doesn't hold up the way that everybody thought it was going to hold up. 5 years ago, it was quarterbacks are playing forever. Forever. You're getting Tom Brady playing into his 40s, Peyton Manning, all these guys playing forever, and they're still so good. Now we're starting to realize this is the season where you're starting to realize, yeah, okay, I get it. There were a couple. It's not all of them. At some point, everybody falls off a cliff. Maybe Russell Wilson's fallen off that cliff. And I just think that's a better option. It'll be a cheaper option, although Russ definitely lost himself some money. It'll be a cheaper option. It'll be a younger option. It'll be an option that may, if it works out, is 4 or 5 times better than if it works out with Russell Wilson. If it works out with Russell Wilson, you get 1 good year, maybe 2, to say we could compete for a Super Bowl. If it works out for Justin Fields, you get 10. And right now, the baseline of, oh, it doesn't work out is exactly the same. The only difference is maybe you could trade Justin Fields for a mid-round draft pick at some point because he's still only going to be 28, and maybe somebody gets hurt at some point and you could just ditch your quarterback for something. And I'm not saying that's likely. I'm just saying that's where the floors are. You have to. You have to get rid of Russell Wilson after the season. You can't bring him back. And I think Justin Fields is the answer, or at least is the answer to be the bridge. But I wouldn't, if you just scrapped it clean and said we're starting over, I mean, it's better than re-signing Russell Wilson. Anything is better than re-signing Russell Wilson at this point in time, simply because you're going to overpay for a guy that doesn't deserve another contract with you, and that's where the Steelers are. Now, will they? I think that he may have lost himself that opportunity in these last 4 games, and if he looks bad in Baltimore, I got a hard time thinking Mike Tomlin, who probably will advocate for Russell Wilson, could walk into a meeting with Omar Khan and Art Rooney and say, we bring Russ back. And both of them look at him and say, that's a good idea. I have a hard time believing there wouldn't be some pushback saying, I don't think that's where we go about this. And if Arthur Smith's staying, I bet you anything that he makes a push for Justin Fields over Russell Wilson this offseason.